Beloved friends, welcome to PMC. We are traveling in the path of Dhammapada, the way shown by the Gautam the Buddha, and we are understanding the life truths, and also we are getting so much of knowledge on the Buddha and his philosophy. Knowing is not enough. You have to practice in your day-to-day life and you have to implement it in your routine life. Why? Because unless until you implement the principles which have taught by the Buddha, you don't understand the truth behind it and you don't understand the reality in it. Spirituality is nothing but you have to experience the truth and you have to experience the reality as it is. You have to maintain a perfect disciplined life to travel in the path of Nirvana. So on the previous episodes we have discussed on right meditation and also the difference between the student, master, disciple and devotee. These are the stages of a meditator who will cross all the stages to attain the ultimate truth. And also we are traveling in the path of Ashtanga Marg, that is art of living. What is right paradigm, right acceptance, right awakening, right relationships and also right living. We are discussing the way of living, the art of living. Unless until a man knows the art of living, he don't understand the art of dying. Living is more important. So many people are living on the earth, just they are leading their life in a very artificial way. They don't have any understanding on their life and on their deeds and actions. They don't have any awareness about their life and also about their karmas. Just they are passing their life, and if we see some people lives, just they are waiting for their death, not more than that. They are leading a very miserable life and also they don't have any understanding on the life truths and also the way of life. Just they are passing their life and waiting for their death. But while coming to the spirituality and also when we see the meditators, so they will look different while comparing to the common people. Why? Because they lead their life so consciously with awareness, alertness and also in meditativeness. So in order to live in awareness and in meditativeness, you have to practically implement the Ashtanga Marg. You have to follow the eightfold path of Buddha to have a balanced life and to live in equanimity and to maintain the equipoise of your mind body. The ultimate goal of every sadhana, the ultimate goal of every man was to attain the equanimity, that is samatha, to maintain the equilibrium of the body and mind. So mainly when a meditator starts his sadhana, he has to be very authentic and very disciplined, and also he has to lead their life in creative way. Why? Because leading a meditative life is a most creative act. Generally the people think that creativity means just singing songs, playing music, and doing the work skillfully, dance, painting, etc. But living the life in meditativeness is the most creative act in the whole world. So in order to lead your life creatively and meditatively, and you have to be very alert, you have to be very conscious, and you have to be in witness. This is the main intention, and this is the main goal of every meditator to attain that state. So today we are going to discuss on right commitment, samyak sankalp. Everybody born on this earth with some purpose and with some uniqueness, and to attain that purpose, to attain that goal, and to prove their uniqueness in the world, not only in the spirituality but in the outer world also. Anybody wants to prove his talents, his skills, and his uniqueness, and also to identify the purpose, one need commitment. Without commitment, man cannot achieve anything in this life. Commitment is the utmost thing to do anything and everything in this world. Whether they are leading the life in the worldly affairs or they are in the spiritual way, commitment is the basic principle to achieve your goal. The commitment should be right. Some people will take commitments and they will go in negative way. For example, in Buddha's life, Angulimal have taken a commitment that he will kill the 1,000 people, and also he had murdered 999 people in his life. Commitment is important, but whether you are taking in a negative way or a positive way, this is the most important thing. Angulimal has taken commitment, but that was in the negative way. That is not useful for himself or for others. And by taking that negative commitment, his whole life was become a miserable. So at last, the Buddha will go to the Angulimal and he will say that you have taken commitment. Commitment is great, but you have taken in a negative way. It will be not useful to you, and also it will be not useful to others also. And you have killed so many people with your negative commitment. Will you have any effort to renounce their life or to try to become alive. That is not possible. Why? Because once the life is gone forever. It won't come back. You have taken the lives of so many people. Will you give a new life to one individual also? He will ask like that. But he don't have that capability. So the Buddha says, right commitment is important. Commitment should also be right. And commitment should be balanced. It has to help yourself and also others. With your commitment, you can achieve anything in this world and you can create wonders in this world. And also, in the spiritual way, you can attain ultimate goal and you can see the ultimate truth by traveling in the path of commitment. But so many people are going in a very wrong direction with wrong interpretations and with wrong belief system. The commitment should be right and it has to be balanced. So, by taking that commitment, you should be benefited, and with that fruits and with that results, others should have to be benefited by your commitment. So, that is the right commitment. Especially those who are traveling in the spiritual path, that is in the meditative way, they have to take the commitment and do the sadhana or do the meditation to attain enlightenment. Buddha also, when he had left home and searching for truth, he has done so many sadhanas and so many techniques for 12 years. But he may not achieve the ultimate goal. Still there is some drawbacks, still there are some obstacles in his way. So at last he has taken the right commitment. I have left all things in the world and also I have done so many techniques and so many sadhanas in these 12 years, but I have not achieved the ultimate goal. So at last he has taken a commitment while sitting under a tree, and he has selected a posture, the lotus posture, and closed his eyes, and he has taken commitment that whatever may be the circumstances and situations, whatever may be the consequences that I will face in the present moment or in the future, I have to achieve that goal. So he has selected a posture and sat in the meditation under a tree and taken commitment that I have to attain the Buddhahood, I have to attain the enlightenment. If this commitment was not fulfilled, my life was waste, sheer waste. I have left all worldly pleasures and I have lost everything, and I have lost all the relations in my life and left everything behind. By doing this also, if I cannot achieve that goal, what is the purpose of my life? So I have to take a commitment. Whatever happens, it will happen on its own, but I have to achieve that goal. So after taking the commitment, he had gone into the meditation and practiced the Anapanasati, and he had witnessed the breath, the circle of breath, the rhythm of breath. He had seen the complete path of breath, and then he had observed the body. He had understood the ultimate truth of this physical body and the ultimate truth of this world, and also he had completely understood the mind psychology, about the layers of mind. So that's why we will say the Buddha was a spiritual scientist. Why? Because he had given so much of analysis on mind, body and matter. He is the first psychiatrist in the world. He has given a systematic analysis about the mind. So, in present situations, what we are seeing and understanding the new developments in the psychology, and we are seeing so many new techniques. I mean, the self hypnosis and also past life regression, understanding the mind and understanding the energy levels. These are the results and these are the principles taught by Buddha before the 2000 years only. He had given a complete analysis on the body, mind and matter, very scientifically way, in a very systematic way, in a very scientific way. So the modern psychologists have adopted that from the Buddha only. So after seeing the body, mind and matter and heart and understanding the outer nature, he had realized one truth, that was all this material world is composed of nothing but wavelets. Whatever we are witnessing periphery, it looks very solid, but the inner truth was complete wavelets. It's just becoming. I mean, every minute, every second, the birth is happening and also death is happening. In everything, in every human and every creature on this earth. This is the truth of a physical world and this is the truth of a physical body. And while seeing all this, he had attained the highest goal of human consciousness, that is Buddhahood. The Siddhartha had become a Buddha, that is he attained the enlightenment within 3 hours. How it has become possible to Buddha to attain enlightenment in 3 hours? Why? Because he has taken the commitment and continued his sadhana and attained that goal. This is the power of commitment. So the main principle of every meditator was, you have to take a commitment and continue your sadhana so that you can achieve the ultimate goal. Without commitment, you cannot do anything in this world. Nothing is possible for you without commitment. So, the right commitment, the commitment should be right. It has to be in a positive way, not in a negative way. It has to help you and also ultimately it has to help the people at large. And you have to invite the changes in your life to attain the ultimate goal. Change starts from you, and ultimately it extends to the society at large. First of all, invite changes in your life. Don't lead a sedentary and robotic lifestyle. Become aware of your body, mind, deeds, and actions. Don't do your karmas or your actions in a very unconscious way or in unawareness. Why? Because the awareness and the witnessing, these are the two principles to reach the ultimate goal or to reach the meditativeness. This is the main, and it has to become the main concept in every group sitting and in every meditative sitting. So, while doing the sadhana, when you are sitting in the meditation, you take a commitment that you have to select a posture, and the posture should be very comfortable and very in a pleasant way, in a pleasant atmosphere. The posture should be comfortable, and you have to maintain that posture up to 1 hour without any disturbance in the posture. You have to just become a observer of your body. Whatever happens in the body, when you sit in the meditation, the body will react. Irritation will come, itching sensation will come, some sort of vibrations will come, and some sensations will come, pains will come. You will see all these experiences while you are meditating, but it will come on its own. You should not interfere it. You should not give any judgment to it. Just observe the experience as it is. Just observe the reality as it is. Then you have to observe your mind and thoughts and the visualizations that mind is creating. Just you have to observe it. And also you have to observe the breath also, anapanasati. So meditation means just to become witness to the body, mind and heart emotions, and also become witness to your breath. Whatever is happening, just observe it. What happens while you are observing? Slowly, the waves in the body will settle down. The thoughts in the body will settle down, and also the emotions in the heart will settle down. Then you will enter into the real meditativeness. So all this happen with your commitment only. So while sitting in the meditation, you have to take a commitment, so that you have to maintain the posture for 1 hour without any disturbances, without any moments. The pains will come, but you should not get disturbed in the posture. Whatever happens in the body and mind, just accept the reality as it is, just accept the truth as it is, and just observe it, just witness it. Don't interfere in all those things. Don't go with the thoughts, don't go with the pains, don't react to that, just observe it. Then how you will take the commitment? What is the process to take the commitment? So in meditation, you will get so much of disturbances in the body, mind and in everything. But you should not react to it. Your work is to observe. Whatever happens, just observe the reality as it is and observe the truth as it is and accept the reality as it is. Just to become witness to it. So then how you take a commitment to attain your goal while in the inner world or in the outer world? First of all, you have to select your goal, and whatever you are going to achieve, whatever you want to achieve in your life, you have to select the goal first. This is the same process whether you are traveling in the spiritual way or in the worldly affairs. If you want to achieve anything in the world, the process is the same, but you have to know the process, how to take the commitment. First of all, you have to take one decision and select one goal, what you are going to achieve. For example, you are going to take a commitment to attain the enlightenment or self realization. First of all, you have to take a decision, you have to select your goal. Next, whatever you have chosen, you have selected a goal, you have to share your commitment with your friends. At least for 5 members you have to share your commitment. You have taken one commitment, and your next step, you have to share with your friends, at least for 5 members. Next, the third step was, you have to make an effort to fulfill your commitment. Taking commitment and sharing with your friends is not enough. You have to make effort to fulfill your commitment. And the fourth step was, morning and evening. In the early morning when you wake up, you have to repeat your commitment in your mind. How you repeat it? I will tell you one technique. Just close your eyes, sit in meditation, and take a long and deep breaths for 2-3 times. And when you take your breath inside, just stop the breath at the navel center. Just stop the breath. This is in yoga what we say Antar Kumbhak. Just stop the breath in a very easy way. Don't take any stress while stopping the breath. Take a comfortable time. How much time you can stop the breath? So you can do that much time only. Don't take any stress while stopping the breath. Okay. So you take the breath inside and stop it. What happens while you stop the breath? Your mind will completely stop. Body becomes stable, mind also becomes stable. There will be no thoughts, no emotions, nothing. Just the body, mind will become one with the breath. At that time, you repeat your commitment in your mind that I will achieve this, I will achieve it in my life at any cost. You take that commitment, so that each and every cell in your body, each and every thought in your body, your commitment will vibrate. So you have to do in the morning hours when you wake up. So after that, first of all, you have to take by taking breath inside and stop it, hold it, and then repeat the commitment, and also just exhale the breathing. Stop that breath outside, Bahir Kumbhak, outside, and also you stop the breath outside and repeat the commitment for 5 times. So this you have to do in the morning, early morning while you wake up, and also in the night while you are going to sleep, before the sleep in the night. So when you take your commitment in the morning hours, so it will be in your memory and in your subconscious mind throughout the day. And if you repeat your commitment in the night, it will works on your mind throughout the night. So you will remember your commitment whole day. This is the fourth step. So first of all, you have taken a commitment and you have practicing the commitment to fulfill it, and also you have shared your commitment with your friends, at least for 5 friends, 5 people. And the next step is you have to make efforts. Taking commitment is not important, sharing also is not important, unless until you do the effort it will not get fulfilled. So you have to do the effort also. And finally, the 90% effort is from yourself. You have to do with the total intention to fulfill your commitment, and the 10% the grace will come. I mean, the blessings will come from the parents or from the guru or from the divine. So like that, your commitment will be fulfilled. And while taking the commitment, you have to make the time bound also. So within how many days you are going to complete that commitment? Within 3 months, 3 years, or 10 years? It's your choice. So you have to make the time bound also. Like that, you have to take a commitment and you have to fulfill that commitment at any cost. So this is the whole process how you take the commitment. So in the life, commitment makes a lot of difference in your life. So with commitment, with sankalpa, you can achieve anything and everything in this world. So the divinity will surrender to you. The divine will surrender to you by your commitment only. You can achieve enlightenment by your commitment only. So take right commitments and achieve everything in the outer world and also in the inner world. Live life up to full extent. Live happily and joyfully and cheerfully. So live, love and love. This is the principle of every human being in the world. So take commitments, fulfill it, and also live a happy life within this life and also beyond the life. So friends, understanding the right commitment, I think you have known the way of commitment, how to take it, practice it and achieve it. So you have listened to my words with love and compassion, thankful to that, and we will meet in the next episode. Thank you very much.